All right, welcome back, everyone. Let's just jump right into this explainer. Today, we are diving deep into a market that is incredibly lucrative, but honestly, massively misunderstood. We're talking about making the leap from commercial sales to breaking into the government market. If you've got advanced security technology, physical security, AI analytics, access control, screening platforms, and you want to see it deployed in federal agencies, military bases, or airports, you are in the exact right place. We are going to unpack the absolute fundamental strategies you need to actually survive and thrive in the B2G, or business-to-government space.
So I want to kick things off by holding up a mirror to a pretty harsh reality that a lot of commercial tech companies face. And it's this: the best technology often loses. I know, right? It sounds totally backwards. You might have the absolute best detection algorithms out there, the fastest response times, or the most brilliant situational awareness platform on the market. But in the government sector, having great features will absolutely not guarantee you a win. In fact, if you don't understand their specific buying process, you're going to lose to an inferior product every single time.
And here's why. As our source points out, you can have a radically better solution and still get locked out, simply because the requirement was shaped before you ever even knew it existed. The stakes in government procurement are incredibly high. You could spend literally months sending cold emails or responding to public opportunities, totally unaware that those doors were actually closed from the start. Basically, treating a government sale like a standard commercial transaction is a fatal flaw.
So, how do we fix this? Well, here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to rebuild your approach from the ground up, starting with the paradigm shift between commercial and government sales, identifying the real buyer, unpacking their mindset, figuring out how to win before an RFQ even drops, translating your pitch, and finally, building out a rock-solid B2G pipeline.
Let's start by shattering some preconceptions about how advanced tech is actually purchased. Section 1. The paradigm shift.
The crucial thing to grasp right out of the gate is the stark difference in what these buyers actually care about. In a commercial sales approach, buyers usually focus on quick wins and feature-based buying, right? They want the newest, shiniest tool, and they want it turned on tomorrow. But the government approach, it's fundamentally different. Yes, they desperately need your advanced screening or access control, but they buy based on mission fit, long-term reliability, and above all else, low operational risk. They demand supportability, massive documentation, and extreme procurement clarity. If you walk in trying to sell them purely on innovative features without addressing operational risk, you are basically speaking to an empty room.
Which brings us to Section 2, the phantom versus the real buyer, finding your true champion. This is probably the biggest trap companies fall into, and honestly, it's the core focus of our explainer today. You have got to know exactly who has the power to champion your technology. Look, so many companies waste months chasing the contracting officer. But here's the secret. They are just the phantom buyer. Sure, they issue the purchase order, they handle all the heavy procurement paperwork, but they aren't the ones feeling the operational pain. Your real customer is the security director. It's the base commander. It's the operational leader whose daily mission is suffering because they don't have your tech. They are the ones who desperately need the problem solved. Your entire strategy has to revolve around finding and educating that real operational leader, not just the person stamping the final paperwork.
Once you find that real buyer, you need to get inside their head. Section 3. The buyer's mindset. Almost every commercial seller walks in assuming the government is asking one simple question: is this impressive technology? You pull up your pitch deck, expecting them to be totally blown away by your AI analytics. But, spoiler alert, they really don't care. Or at least, that is definitely not the main question driving their decision. Here are the actual questions firing off in a government buyer's head while you are pitching. Can this solve my specific mission problem? Like, does it actually reduce manpower or speed up my inspections? Can I legally and financially justify this purchase to my superiors? Will this survive a brutal procurement review? Can my current existing team actually operate and support this thing after deployment? And the big one, will this create risk for me? If your messaging doesn't proactively answer these exact mission-focused questions, you are going to struggle to get any traction, no matter how cool your tech is. This leads us to a huge realization about the life cycle of a government deal. Section 4. Winning before the RFQ. If you're sitting around waiting for a request for quote to pop up online so you can start selling, you are playing a guaranteed losing game. Let's walk chronologically through how serious companies actually win. The real work happens months before an official bid even exists. In month 1, it's all about education and capability briefings with those real operational buyers we talked about earlier. By month 3, you're engaging in market research and responding to sources sought notices just to prove your capability exists. By month 6, you might be running pilot programs or live demos. And all of this leads to month 9, requirement shaping. Because you educated that buyer early, when the official requirements are finally written out, they align perfectly with your specific technology. Basically, by the time the RFQ drops online, the winner has already been chosen.
But to execute that timeline, you have to know how to communicate. Section 5, speaking government language.
You literally cannot just copy and paste your commercial marketing materials and expect them to resonate with a base commander. The comparison is night and day. A standard commercial pitch sounds something like, "We have an AI-powered platform with advanced detection." To a government buyer, generic jargon just makes you invisible. Now contrast that with a government pitch. Reduces manual inspection time and creates searchable records without adding workload. Notice the difference there? The commercial pitch focuses entirely on the tool. The government pitch focuses on the outcome. It hits on operational value, labor savings, and risk reduction. That is the language that gets you in the door and actually makes it easy for the buyer to justify buying from you.
All right, let's turn all this strategy into actual execution. Section 6, building your B2G pipeline.
According to our source material, transitioning to this market requires a highly structured build-out, typically done over a 30-day period. Government sales aren't random. It's a process. To stop just chasing noise, you need these foundational pillars locked in. You need clear target agencies. Are you going after federal or state and local? You need clear, mission-focused messaging. You need a clear procurement path, like will you sell direct, through the GSA, or maybe through prime contractors. You need a clear partner strategy and clear next actions for outreach. Without these essentials, you're honestly just throwing mud at a wall and hoping a government contract magically sticks.
I absolutely love this quote from the text. In government sales, focus creates power. The more specific your target, the stronger your message becomes. A massive mistake companies make is trying to sell to every single federal and local agency all at once. They just spread themselves way too thin. If your tech is best suited for border security, then focus relentlessly on that. Precision is your ultimate advantage here. Identify your absolute best use case, find your exact buyer persona, and tailor every single thing you do to them. And that brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with for this explainer. You really have to ask yourself, are you selling louder or are you selling smarter? The security tech market is exploding, and government buyers are constantly getting bombarded by companies claiming to have the next big thing. Just yelling your features louder than the competition isn't going to win you the contract. But understanding the crucial difference between the phantom and the real buyer, shaping those requirements early, and speaking the language of mission impact and risk reduction, that is selling smarter. That is how you actually break into the government market. So take a really hard look at your current strategy and ask yourself which one you're doing right now. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time as we keep breaking down the complexities of the tech world.